Really, JR? You think you can still do this?
I'm focused.
You're way too old to hit that target from there.
I've been listening to everything you said. It's been running through my head, locked and loaded.
Alright, still got it. Still got it.
Who's old now?
All right, welcome in, Oxy fans. We get coaches, we get players. Now we have an associate commissioner, the newest associate commissioner, but not new at all to the NCHC, Michael Weisman with me. Michael, first of all, congratulations. What an honor, and I know your work ethic got you there, but tell us what it's like to be the associate commissioner of the NCHC.
Well, thanks, Scott. I appreciate that, and it's definitely an exciting time to get a promotion. I've been with the NCHC for 8 years, going on season 9 now, and I was previously the director of communications for the first 8 years, and so it was nice to get that reward. I appreciate Commissioner Fenton's commitment to me and to our conference, and as well as our members being willing to make that commitment to give me that promotion. It's certainly an exciting time. We were able to hire another staff member, Sam Keeney, our digital content coordinator below me. And so she reports to me, and we're able to create even more content on social media and NCHC TV through that. So my role has changed a little bit. I have someone reporting to me now. I'm doing a little more oversight and planning and kind of long-term vision type stuff as opposed to maybe the day-to-day type things. But I'm still running some social media and trying to keep my hand on how things are going on the day-to-day, as well as looking at some of the bigger projects long-term.
Well, we know the conference is the best conference in college hockey, I think hands down. It's so well done, and you guys handle everything so well, but talk about the day-to-day things that you have to do, because I've been trying to catch up with you for 3 weeks, and you're always busy doing something, so what's your day like?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. I think a lot of people ask that. It's kind of a weekly routine, and it starts kind of on Monday and leads up to the games on Friday, and kind of everything we do throughout the week kind of leads into those games, and then we start all over. So, on Mondays we have our staff meetings, we pick our players of the week, the national polls come out, we pick our fan of the week, so a lot of kind of awards to give out and recognition to give out, press releases, and that kind of takes up our Monday. And then Tuesday and Wednesday we kind of do some fun content. We have our plays of the week, we do some other kind of behind the scenes featurey stuff. Potentially some other press releases depending on what the news is. I'm working on my weekly release and game notes, getting ready for the weekend, get that out to the media. So lots of things, prepping for the games, internal things that maybe fans don't think about, but making sure our officials are all coordinated, all their travel is ready to go. They know where they're supposed to be and what time. Making sure they have flights and hotels and rental cars, things like that. Communicating with our schools, making sure all our NCHC TV streams are squared away and everything's going to work right. So lots of behind-the-scenes stuff, making sure everything's ready to go for the games. And then, of course, it all leads up to the games. We have our games, and then we start it all over again the next week. So.
I'm just wiping my brow now. I'm not on camera, but the sweat is beating off of me just listening to you. So as we talk tonight, we're watching, or we just completed a game with Colorado College and Air Force right here in the Springs. Frank calls it the City Championship. Everybody else calls it the Pikes Peak Trophy. It is what it is, but talk a little bit, if you can, Michael, about the NCHC non-conference. Last year you didn't get it, really. You had to play in the pod, you had to do different things that were forced upon you because of the pandemic, but how important has this non-conference schedule been for the conference?
Yeah, I mean, historically, we've fortunately been very successful in the non-conference play. Our first season we didn't do great, but 6 of the last 7 seasons, not counting last season, as you said, we weren't able to play non-conference because of our own decision for COVID health and safety protocols. But 6 of the 7 years prior to last season, we had the best combined non-conference winning percentage our teams had, and ultimately that leads directly to our teams getting into the NCAA tournament. Last year it was a subjective criteria. There was, a group of people who actually met and discussed it, similar to what the NCAA men's and women's basketball tournaments are. But typically it's the pairwise system, which is strictly a computer mathematical formula, and it's all based on wins and losses and who you beat and who your opponents beat. And so, when our teams win our non-conference games and they do well there, and then they go into conference play, it doesn't really matter who wins and loses, because one team wins and one team loses. So we're 50% in conference play, but if we can go 700 or 750 in non-conference play, well, then we're doing better than the other conferences, and our teams are going to rank higher in the pairwise. So we've had a lot of success getting teams into the NCAA tournament, and that's 100% tied to non-conference success. And so far this season, unfortunately, CC dropped in overtime tonight, but we're a little below 650 for our non-conference win percentage on the season, and hopefully we'll keep it right there and maybe up it a little bit, and that should set us up well for the end of the season and getting teams in the tournament.
So next week, it all starts for real in conference play, and every matchup every weekend is solid. But talk a little bit about any surprises that you've seen in the non-conference from the teams. Are there teams that you've said, wow, I didn't know they did that, or wow, I thought they were going to be better than that?
No, I always expect our teams to be strong. Certainly, there are some that have higher expectations coming into the season than others. And I think you've seen that kind of play out. I think a lot of the teams that maybe you expected to be good have kind of lived up to those expectations, and maybe some of the teams that have a new coach or a lot of new guys coming in, maybe haven't quite had the success in non-conference play. But we have 6 teams in the top 13 of the national polls, which is awesome. Western Michigan had a big win last week over number 1 Michigan. They had an incredible 5-goal comeback today, so they're really climbing up the polls. They were unranked at the start of the season and have moved into the top 15. Omaha, I think, may have also been unranked at least one of the polls, and they've moved up into the top 10. So it's been great to see some of our teams kind of climb up in those polls as they win non-conference games, and hopefully we can keep those teams up there, and our teams will keep having success.
Okay, put the broad spectrum view on this one. Just your thoughts about how NCAA hockey has come through the pandemic. We've added teams. We thought we were going to lose teams. We maybe didn't. Teams have gone and resurged. Just your overall picture of where the NCAA hockey plan is right now.
Yeah, considering the pandemic last season, it's definitely been interesting to see that we've added 2 teams, I guess, in St. Thomas and Long Island, and there's talk of Lindenwood, and I guess Augustana officially announced it, so I guess if you want to count them, they're not playing, but that's 3 officially that have been added since the pandemic happened. Unfortunately, we have kind of lost a couple, at least maybe temporarily, and UAH and Robert Morris and Alaska Anchorage, so a little bit of a wash there, but hopefully I know those programs are working on fundraising, and hopefully we can get them back, because it's important to keep as many Division I men's college hockey teams as we can. The more we can have, the stronger the sport will be. And one of the unique things about college hockey that you really don't get in any other sport is the variance in divisions that we have teams. It's all Division I hockey, but we have Division I, Division II, and Division III teams that compete against each other, that in their multi-sport conferences they're in those other divisions, but in men's hockey they compete in Division I, and so you have the Augustana and Lindenwood and St. Thomas, all teams that are not, I guess St. Thomas is moving to Division I, so I take that back, but some of those other teams are certainly not Division I in their all sports, but it's great to see them making the commitment to add a Division I men's hockey team, and as you said, I think that's only good for the overall growth of college hockey, and hopefully we can keep adding teams. It's exciting to see, and we'll see where it goes.
Okay, final one for you. Commissioner Fenton at Media Day talked about how well financially the NCHC did coming through the pandemic, and can you put a finger on why that's so successful for you guys, and maybe other conferences or other teams struggle with it? What do you guys do, or what's the formula, or are you going to keep it a secret?
I can't speak to what other conferences do or how they operate their budgets, so I really have no idea on that. In terms of ours, I give a lot of our credit to our commissioner, Josh Fenton. He is very meticulous in his budget planning at the beginning of the season. He's very watchful when it comes to our spending. Last season, some really great planning by him and by our members allowed us to have the success, with the pod. We didn't have any fans, but we were able to kind of limit our budget and have our teams reallocate their funds that they would normally spend on road trips that they weren't taking and put that towards, hotel and food in the pod, things like that to help them save on costs there. And then we were fortunate enough, we moved our Frozen Face-Off Championship from Xcel Energy Center to Ralph Engelstad Arena in Grand Forks, North Dakota. And, that was done for a couple reasons. One is Minnesota at the time was not allowing any fans, and so we couldn't have had any fans. By moving it to the Ralph in North Dakota, we were able to have some fans. And by having fans, we were able to generate some revenue. We had 3,000 fans for the championship and a little under 3,000 for the other 6 games, quarterfinals and semifinals. And so by having those fans, we were able to sell tickets and generate a little bit of revenue. And that revenue was able to help us at least be on the positive side at the end of this past fiscal year. As you said, a lot of conferences and teams had a tough time in the pandemic, but we were fortunate. So we appreciate our fan support. And I should also add that NCHC TV was another big revenue driver for us. The pod was extremely successful in the pod pass that we sold. So our fans, we appreciate our fan subscriptions to NCHC TV, and those that attended the Frozen Face-Off at the Ralph certainly helped us come out on the positive this past season.
Yeah, I wanted to end it on that note because the NCHC TV is by far and away the best platform to watch college hockey on, and everybody tells me that everywhere I go. They go, I wish our teams could be in the NCHC because it's so steady. What's the key to that?
Well, I appreciate that, Scott. Yeah, NCHC TV, it's been a lot of labor on our part to kind of get it off the ground and get it going, but all of our teams, while their home games, any game in their venue, is shown on NCHC TV, and they do a great job producing it. Some are done through a local or regional television partner, and some are more internal productions, but they all work hard and do a great job on getting their streams out over the airs. And we have a great partner in Sidearm Sports who helps us host NCHC TV and make sure all our streams are working and gets them out there. NCHC TV is available on mobile apps. We have OTT apps on Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, and so with those apps, fans are able to enjoy games not only on necessarily a computer or a laptop, but they can watch them on their big screen television or on their mobile phone if they're on the go, anything like that. So I think that's one of the nice selling points is they can watch them kind of wherever they are or on their big screen. We also have things like quad view, so you can watch multiple games at once if you want. You're not limited to just one game. So several nice features. We have some timeline markers that fans can see goals if they come into a game late and see what they missed. So several nice features. We're always working with Sidearm to add new things and improve things. We hear the fan feedback and we hear what they want improved and what the issues they're having. So we're always taking that into consideration, seeing what we can improve and make better. But we're always trying to make NCHC TV the best it can be and be as fan-friendly user as possible.
And that's fan feedback, not only from my co-host Paul Hornstein as well, but
always listening to the fans.
Michael, appreciate your time. Congratulations again on the promotion, and keep up the good work with the NCHC. It is definitely the class of college hockey.
Thanks, Scott. We appreciate the partnership with you and Ice Time Hockey Southwest for sure.
Really, JR? You think you can still do this?
I'm focused.
You're way too old to hit that target from there.
I've been listening to everything you said. It's been running through my head, locked and loaded.
All right, still got it. Still got it.
Who's old now?